Okay, here's a chemical reaction that has a special challenge to it, and I'm going to call it the odd and even challenge. So let's try to balance this back up and see how this special challenge is overcome. I'm going to make my ledger sheet like I've done in the past. And I'm going to keep track of the atoms on the reactant side and the product side to make sure that they are all accounted for. I'm going to scribble in the elements that I am using in this equation. Aluminum and oxygen. And I'm going to give an initial count to them. On this side I have 1 aluminum, and over here I have 2, so I'll write that in. And here I have 2 oxygens, and on this side I have 3. Now most of the times it is the diatomic elements, ones like oxygen and nitrogen and hydrogen, that create this special challenge for us of the odd-even problem. Because no matter what I do for these diatomic elements, I always end up with an even number. No matter which coefficient I multiply by, I'm going to end up with an even number. That's just a property of multiplication. Over here on this side, though, I'm going to have an odd number of oxygen. And so I have to find a way to make these two work with each other so that I can end up with some number that will make both sides equal. So I'm just going to start out balancing this thing, just like normal. I'm looking for the one that is smaller, so I'm going to choose aluminum first. And I see that this side has a smaller number of aluminum atoms. So as I said last time, we're going to increase this coefficient by 1. And now I have 2 on each side. So my aluminum looks to be taken care of. Now I'm getting to my problem of my odd and even problem. And here's my rule. Normally I tell you to begin working with the smaller side, but this time whenever you see that you have this odd and even problem caused by one of these diatomic elements, I want you to consider finding the odd side of the problem and multiplying that coefficient by 2. So in this case, the odd side of the problem is going to be the aluminum with its 3 atoms, because it's an odd number. And we want to take that odd number and make it an even number by multiplying it by 2. So I'm going to put a 2 in here. And when I do that, I'm going to account for that in my ledger down here. Now I have 4 aluminums, and I have 6 oxygens. On this side of the equation, I need to fix things. So here I'm looking at this 2, and I'm saying, hey, I need more over here now. So I'm going to use the power of the whiteboard, but one of my oldest tips for balancing equations is that you work in pencil, because you need to be able to erase these coefficients and change them from time to time. And you just make a mess if you scribble too much. So since I need 4 aluminums over here, I'm going to put a 4 as a coefficient. Record that in my ledger. Aluminums look to be satisfied again. And I'm back to my oxygen. But this time, with the oxygen, now I have a nice even number like 6 that I'm trying to obtain instead of an odd number like 3. And so I'm going to ask myself, well, 2 times what is going to give me 6? And that answer is 3. And make that. And now if by inspection I can see aluminums are equal on both sides, and so are my oxygens. So we're all done. We've overcome the problem of odds and evens.